we going to be able to get to it? Yes, we are. Welcome to the show. Make sure that you don't forget to share the live. Make sure that you follow and tap that screen. We're going to give you all the weather updates that we can on this wonderful, wonderful May 23rd, Friday, May 23rd. I'm hoping that you guys are all going to have a marvelous marvelous holiday weekend. Unfortunately, you could see right there in the center of your screen, we have some risks. That is looking at the risks that are for tomorrow. So let me just go ahead and make sure that we get today's risks up there. And then that way you can see the risk, where the risk for the tornado activity is. Right there, that's where the risk for tornado activity, and you're looking at a possibility of 7 p.m. This is a radar estimated loop of what 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time might look like. Right there is actually 6 p.m. So there's a possibility of some isolated uh, tornadoes to pop up in extreme northeastern part of Colorado, extreme western portion of Kansas, extreme southwestern portions of Nebraska. Memphis, as you can see in the map right off to my right, Memphis doesn't need to worry about anything here for today. The risks for tomorrow for areas of Memphis, general thunderstorms. And then day three, again, general thunderstorms, but that's for most of Tennessee. And then areas of Memphis for day three would be more of a marginal risk. Have to see how that plays out here. So hopefully that helps you. All right, so let's go ahead and break things down for you for the big event that is expected. That's for tomorrow. I'm kind of skipping around here, so I just want you to be aware. This is the risk for tomorrow. This is a bigger threat for tornado risks. And I'm going to go through the NAM 3K. Yes, this is, no, this is the NAM 3K. Sorry, Storm Chaser J. This is the NAM 3K. I'm having a real struggle with HRRR lately. I don't really trust it a whole lot. It's having a hard time giving it through. So, unfortunately, this is 2 a.m. update. So that's all we have to go on until a little bit later of an update. All right, so this is looking at areas of Oklahoma where we're expecting for tomorrow. Again, Bartsville area, Tulsa area, I do expect to see some big time wind as well as hail threat. We even, obviously, with this 2% risk here in the green, that is that risk of tornado activity. NAM, again, is having a little bit of a struggle putting that 5% where it is. Let me go ahead and see if there was any update push through radar Omega here. 1 second. All right, that was updated at 1 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Jeff, thank you very much for the heart me's. Appreciate it. Well, congratulations, WTG. This is your last day of third grade. You're going to be a fourth grader. How about that? Let's give him some WTG. Let's give him a little bit of love there. Is Milwaukee in danger in June for storms? That's a little far out to verify, but likely there's that going to be that risk, continued risk in June because typically we start seeing more of that moisture come farther north. So I'm going to say yes. If you're asking about June, inevitably you're going to have some risks in June. I'm just encompassing the whole June because it looks like that was kind of your question. Specific details for June, I can't really say. Hey, Oklahoma, thanks so much. I hope you guys are all planning on joining me for my first live battle that is this weekend, Saturday. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at HRRR here real quick. And we'll look for today's outlook. I want to give the timing of these storms. Ooh, they did. They went a little bit further with that update. So this was updated at 7:50 Central Daylight Time. So that was about 12 minutes ago, folks. So this is, live latest information. So let me update the SPC outlooks here real quick. When you go consistently live at the same time every single day, things can definitely change. Make sure all of our outlooks are updated here. There we go. Now we have great information. So now these images to my right are all updated with the information that was updated from the SPC at 7:50. All right. Thanks for the follow, Dana Cloak. Is there tornadoes expected here? Britt D. Where exactly are you referring to? I can tell you if there's a risk, but I can't tell you. I just need, okay. So I just need Britt D to tell me what city and state you're asking about. Not going to be able to spend a whole lot of time there. So Jeff, if you want to just if that person is in the area of this green swath, that's the best that we could do at this point. All right, we're going to take a look at HRRR weather model and see what timing we might have with respect to this risk for tornadoes today. Let's go ahead and pull that up here 1 second. Make sure this is updated right. Yep, it is. All right. Okay, so we do have that risk here for tornadoes, and the HRRR timing on this is going to be later in the day. So the area that the biggest concern today, really, in areas of like through this weekend, between now and Sunday, areas of Chanute and Coffeyville, those areas of Kansas, major flooding is expected. 3 to 4, maybe even 4 to 6 inches of rainfall all together over the next 3 days in those areas. So big time, big time risk there. All right, image is not ready for HRRR, so let's kind of get the timing figured out with regards to that. 6 p.m. It's going to be very difficult for things to pop off. I do think that while this is not zero, I still think it's very conditional up in areas of Sydney. So if I was going to be chasing, I'd go up in this area. However, there are some indications that we could possibly see things happen down by Garden City as well. Let me kind of scan that, but that's going to be super late. So I'd never like to chase during the overnight hours and evening hours. Yeah, this is an updated scan and it's not showing that over in Garden City. So that's good, folks. So this is kind of going to be the area that if I was chasing right in here, and I apologize, that's not in the viewer here. There we go. I'll take a look at Indiana here. Going from MA to PA to Indiana to Arkansas, arriving Sunday night in Arkansas. Will I be okay? Gal, that's a long trip. I hope you're taking breaks. Goodness gracious. You're arriving Sunday night in Arkansas. Stay weather aware, Olivia. Spiffy young man, location. So Indiana looking. Indiana's good for the next 3 days. Thank you, Tracy, for the follow. Thanks for sharing the live. Appreciate it. Thank you for following, Natalie. Hail chase day, galactic weather. Yeah, it's likely going to be a hail day. If you're referring to areas like Sydney, Alliance, those areas of Nebraska, western Nebraska, definitely. Let's go ahead and put up that hail factor up here for the update. That hail factor, these areas. So Olivia, just to answer your question, there's going to be all modes of severe weather expected by the time you get to Arkansas. Can't really pull it up on here, but all I can show you is these three boxes. The yellow is a slight risk. The Green, dark green is a marginal risk, and then the light green is the general thunderstorms. So just be aware, day 3 is a long ways out. I do expect that yellow swath that's over the Oklahoma area, I expect that to expand over into further into areas of Arkansas. So just be mindful. That means that there could be possibility of some tornadoes, could be possibility of some hail, but we won't know for certain. That's a long ways out to predict any type of tornado stuff. Dexter Moser, Tulsa. All right, let's go ahead and check out Tulsa here. Your storms are expecting to show up really late in the evening hours, according to HRRR weather model. This is a look at midnight area, and we don't really see anything show up until about midnight, and that's just over by OKC area. You're welcome, Dexter. Olivia, just a programming note. It's going to be very difficult for me to do any huge weather updates. I'm going to try and do some quick ones. I will be in Little Sioux, Iowa, with my family for some family time for this weekend. So I'm making sure that I'm doing my due diligence, and I'll make some posts. But I won't probably have consistent lives because the coverage is going to be a little bit spotty to say the least. Rhode Island, you don't have anything to worry about for the next 3 days. Um, so that's good. Rhode Island, I appreciate you joining. Springdale, Arkansas, you got some risks that you're expecting over later today, or not today, but tomorrow rather. Let me go ahead and put those. All right, so folks, I'm going to go ahead and kind of get Abilene, Kansas. I'll get to Abilene real shortly. Going to only be able to go over these risks here for today. So I'll switch over to a live radar here real quick. 1 second. I forgot I got 2 different radars pulled up so I can multitask. Let me first get Springdale. You guys can't see it, but I've got. So Springdale area, your main concern for today is an excessive rainfall outlook, where you could see a lot of flooding expected in those areas. Springdale, you're also in a slight risk for severe weather. Let me go ahead and pull that up here so you guys can see it. All right, so Springdale is right around this area here. And again, the timing of that is going to be overnight time frame, according to the latest HRRR. That's the best that we could do at this point. If we go to the NAM, let's see what the NAM says. If you know, unfortunately, that was updated at 2 a.m., so it's a little tough. West Tennessee, you guys need to, like, if you're referring to like the Memphis area, you're in a marginal risk for tomorrow. So just stay weather aware. The risk for tornadoes tomorrow, as of right now, anyways, is not high. It's less than 2% in the Oklahoma or the Memphis, Tennessee area. So according to NAM 3K, what we're seeing here, those storms in those areas of Springdale don't look to be really that significant until you get into the overnight hours of like 2 o'clock in the morning. So just stay weather aware. You're in that slight risk here for today, and things could change with the SPC outlook for 11:30 when they update that up. Bracelet girl, you're welcome. All right, Abilene, Kansas. Let me go ahead and find that geographically. You're in a marginal risk for severe weather today. So let's go ahead and find that on Radar Omega here. 1 second. All right. So you're in that marginal risk here today. Again, according to NAM 3K, let's go ahead and take a look at that update. Oh, goodness. Folks, shout out what apps you guys use. I'm getting really frustrated with Radar Omega. Anytime I have to switch, it seems to just freeze up. And that is so frustrating. And the reason why I like it is I have so many options. I've got that as well, but the only thing that I don't like about so groomer for vets, the only thing I don't like about groomer or for weather wise is I can't do radar estimates with the models. At least I haven't been able to find out. So I think weather-wise is a great tool for um, live stuff. I don't see anything, but I haven't played around with it a whole lot. So groomer for vets, if you have found differently, but I think weather-wise, the only thing that that's really good for is like live radar stuff, which is great for chasing and things like that, but trying to estimate and forecast is just next to impossible. All right, so areas of Abilene, Kansas. This isn't picking up on a whole lot for Abilene, so I would say generalized storms. This would be a marginal risk, maybe some small hail for Abilene, Kansas. Um, and maybe some gusty winds 50 to 60 mile an hour at times. So hopefully that helps you, Travis. Thania, thank you very much for the follow. Medicine Lodge, Kansas. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. I appreciate you guys sharing the live as well as making sure that you let us know what areas you want me to cover. Groomer for Vets, thanks for the follow. We've got a lot of user with no names, so I'm going to have myself pretty busy with a lot of bots, I'm imagining. All right, so we're looking right now at Medicine Lodge. Let's go ahead and do Medicine Lodge, Kansas. Let's do a solid and see if we can get HRRR weather model to show us anything here. One moment. Nope, of course not. Because once again, I have to switch to total precip and then I've got to switch over to composite reflective. I'm no weather genius for apps, anyways, but you would think it would not be that difficult to fix whatever's going on here with this app. As much money as people shell out for this, and then I got to switch over. Hmm. There's definitely got to be a better way to do this. And usually I don't have too much of a problem, but it seems like the last week things have just been getting bogged down. And now I type in Medicine Lodge again and it can't figure it out. And I know it's not my computer because I have another computer and it has the same issue and that other computer is brand new. So, oh my gosh, really, dude? Hey, NC Severe Storm Analyst, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Groomer for Vets, Tupelo, Mississippi. I will get to that as quick as I can. My goodness, this is crazy how much of a pain this app is starting to be. For today, Tupelo, you're in general thunderstorms. Tupelo, Mississippi. For tomorrow, your risk expands, so you'll be in that marginal risk. I'm really sorry, folks. I'm trying to do my best, but this app is frozen. One of my friends, NTX Weather, was on last night, and she was having the same exact issue. And I don't know what the dealio is, but I'm really getting tired of it. All right, let's go ahead and get to HRRR. And this is for tomorrow's risks, just so you're aware, and it's not scanning through. Folks, I'm going to have to probably Kansas storm chasing. Oh, absolutely. One of these days when I can get out and afford the gas to go chasing in your guys' areas, definitely. I used to live in I always joke around with people that, because I loved weather so much, I moved to Kansas City metro area over by the Olathe and Lenexa area for a year. And my plan was, because I loved singing at that time, my plan was to go into spiritual singing, like being that type of thing, and for the churches and things like that, but it never worked out because life hit you and it's expensive in KCMO and KCK. Hey, Mesomat's on here. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate it. Are you going to be live today? It doesn't look like a real huge risk for today, but over in areas of eastern part of Colorado around Sterling area does look a little interesting today. Yeah, I ended up going over to Kansas City, Kansas area. Oh, that's right. You're going to be on vacation. Shoot, dude. I hope you have a great vacation. I'm going to be on kind of a vacation here too. I'm going to be doing my first ever TikTok battle and on Saturday and I'm going to be in a campground that doesn't have very good coverage. So I'm bringing my I don't I'm not sponsored by these guys yet, but there's this amazing tool called Netgear, and Netgear has this mobile device that you can um, swap out your SIM cards, and you can have internet. So I spent 500 bucks on it, um, which obviously I probably should have just went with Starlink, but the Starlink thing I'm not too hip on just for the fact that sometimes if you're storm chasing and you get hail cores, it's really tough still to get through that. All right. And Kansas storm chasing, I certainly will. That's Tim Betts for you, I believe. He's one of the great chasers that's down in Kansas. Um, you need to go follow him as well. I will definitely show you how to use all this fun tools when they work. That's the tough part. I'd like to get back to WSV3. All right, here we go. All right, Groomer for Vets was asking. I think Groomer for Vets probably left, unfortunately, because Tupelo, Mississippi, I couldn't get to. Darn app. All right, folks, let's go ahead and go through all of the risks today. I'm going to put those up with WeatherWise here. 1 second. All right, let me switch scenes here 1 second. I've got too many different ones up here. We'll use Radar Omega. All right, so here's the tornado risk. If you're in these areas here, this is including Bartsville, Tulsa, eastern part of Colorado. Yes, Yes, WeatherWise is a great app. Like I was saying earlier before you probably joined, the only thing I don't like about it is if they can mesh the tools that Radar Omega has with WeatherWise, that would be awesome because I don't have the ability to do the like the weather models. I haven't found that out, and maybe you could text me, buddy, and help me figure out how it does. But I don't think it has the HRRR, all the different weather models, and that's what I really enjoy doing. All right, so this is the risk for the tornadoes for today. Let's take a look at the hail factor, get through all this and punch through. There's a wind factor. Again, most of these storms are going to be late in the afternoon and early evening. The further we get into overnight hours, that's where we're going to be expecting that northwestern part of Arkansas to get some of those. And then the hail risk, that's what we got for today. Significant hail risk in a swath here from areas of Sterling, Colorado, all the way down to Dodge City. If I kind of do a solid with the HRRR, it's really having a difficult time picking that up. It looks like 5 o'clock in the morning, some storms brewing over an area, a big old MCS line of storms here from Bartsville all the way on up here. That would be an MCS, and then we could have. This is why they're expecting a whole lot of rain. It's probably going to be a slow moving system. If I was to put any dollars on this and take a bet, that would be likely what it's going to be at this point. But this is nonetheless the risk for the hail is pretty significant in this area that's the dashes. The next risk would be for tomorrow. Let's go through those. All right, so this is Oklahoma, Bartsville. Again, you're under the gun. That's slight risk for severe weather. A little tough to figure out the timing, so I'm going to skip over to a live radar here so that we don't get people confused on what's actually going on right now. Time frame for today? Sure, I'll do you a solid here. I'll give you that. Let's take a look at what timing for today is in areas of Kansas here. It's going to be super late, dude. So if I was you, I would not go for the bust because it doesn't look that great. I mean, if you like chasing later in the evening, maybe this area here, but obviously if you're still at work and you're in Kansas, that's a long way to travel for a if, maybe, possibly type of thing. Yeah. So areas, biggest area concern as of this latest HRRR weather model update. If I was in Eckley, Hullock, Haxton, those areas today around 8 p.m., sometime after 6, I'm going to say, I would be very concerned for those areas because that looks like some of the areas that have the biggest risk, in my opinion. But then that moves further to the east around 4 o'clock in the morning, hence the reason those risks. There would be McCook, part of Kansas or Nebraska, and then look at that for Wichita for tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the morning. Heavy rainfall, big time. And even possibilities, Coffeyville. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these significant tornado parameter numbers. I apologize, I didn't even look at that for today's risks. So it looks like 5 o'clock. Few isolated tornadoes could be possible in areas west of Goodland, but that is very small numbers for significant tornado parameters. Highest is like a 1.3 that I've seen. Yeah, 1.3. So Not too big. Bill Trady 545, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, very low risk today. I would say your day is going to be, I don't know where you're going to go tomorrow, but um, if you're able to make it down to OKC, I have a feeling tomorrow is going to be pretty significant. I mean, they already have a 5% risk for areas of OKC area. And the numbers don't lie here. Let's take a look at the numbers there for Shawnee. Still low, but higher for sure. That's too late. 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Let's go to 4. Yeah, these are going to be late storms as well. So those are no not that interesting. I mean, they get dangerous because you get in the dark and it gets very difficult, especially if you don't have a reliable radar. So so just be mindful of that. Areas of OKC for tomorrow, you guys have that 5% risk for some tornadoes, and that is likely to happen sometime after 4 o'clock. Would be uh, the biggest risk. Go ahead and show that here, that 4 p.m., just so I can't be told I'm giving misinformation here. After 4 p.m. would be for tomorrow that I'm referring to. Few storms, but that's going to be early storms. That's going to be more of a rain, hail, wind threat right there at 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And then redevelopment in the afternoon. And that's going to be risky to know if that's really going to develop. Yep. You think you'll catch the next system. That's a good idea. All right, let's go ahead and take a look further out. Let's look at, we don't have the tornado risks for day 3, but wham bam, no thank you, ma'am. We've got OKC down under the gun for Sunday as well. So slight risk for Oklahoma for Sunday. And your overall probabilistics, areas of Lubbock, Texas, areas like Elk City, Oklahoma, Altus. This is where I think we're going to have possibility of more risk. It's likely going to be that 5% risk of tornado activity as well. It's going to be a little tough for me to go out that far because I have to use NAM 12K, and that was just updated here at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, in my opinion, when you're comparing it with HRRR, you're already outdated. So we could go over to the 25th and 26th. And it has a hard time going out that far as well. So it's going to be tough to go day 3. I really don't like going out any further than day 1 and day 2 on my updates. Main reason for that is because what is happening with my day 1? There we go. I don't like going out that far because it's so much of a change. It can definitely change quite a bit. What's going to come to Northwest Arkansas? That's when you know that you've been doing this a while, when you know what NWA means. So Mirror, Northwest Arkansas. Let me go ahead and I just realized I had my other app up. 1 second here. There we go. All right, Northwest Arkansas. Let me get that pulled up here. There's the Northwest Arkansas. HRRR. Earlier, when I looked at the update that would happen at 7 a.m. for Northwest Arkansas, it was showing that there was not anything really happening until overnight hours. But let's check here 1 second. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Northwest Arkansas, you can kind of see that in the viewer there. Let me get the better view. So that's a look at 5 o'clock in the morning on tomorrow. As you can see, Springfield, whoops, a little hard to see from there, but there's a better view of that. These storms kind of go in, but it doesn't look that significant. Your slight risk is there, so you have the potential for some hail, some wind. Definitely expecting a lot of rain. Tony875, thanks for the follow. What do you use for this? What do you mean? Can you be a little bit more specific? So right now I'm looking at Radar Omega. My streaming, I utilize Streamlabs, so I simulcast through YouTube as well as Facebook, as well as obviously TikTok. You're welcome, Mir. And somebody asked for Haslett. I apologize. Hopefully you're still here. Haslett, Texas. Are you still here? M. Sharma. All right. Thank you for being patient. So I'll take a look at Dallas, Texas area. Graduates outside Dallas at 8 p.m. Okay, let me go ahead and pull that. So you don't even have general thunderstorms. Sorry, that may sound rude. You don't have general thunderstorms today. So let's take a look. You're not at risk for any severe weather today. Let me make sure that this is the risk here. Been switching back and forth. Your risk does increase as you go through to Sunday. But for today, not expecting much of anything in Dallas, Texas area. We go back to these risks here. So the risks for overall here, you can see Dallas, you're in the light shade of green, which ends up being, you're welcome, Shauna B. And I know you asked about Haslett. I'm guessing that's kind of in the general area of Dallas, but general thunderstorms in Haslett, Texas today, so nothing severe expected. Elk City, fabulous Travis. Ooh, goodness. Elk City, I mentioned that earlier, and I'll gladly go there because that is an area that I was watching. Appreciate you joining. Thanks for the follows. Don't forget to share the live. Also tap that screen. Send hearts. It's a free way that you can go ahead and tap the hearts and get things going. Miles, KC area. Yeah, I'll get to that. Let's go ahead and take a look at Elk City area here. Again, you're in a marginal risk here for today. Just north of you, there is that tornado risk. So marginal risk in Elk City for today. That changes for tomorrow. You're just on the edge. So you could have some severe weather for tomorrow, but for today, it looks like it's going to be all right. Yes, yes. A ton of rain. I was looking at that a little bit ago, and actually, Salina, Kansas, 1 to 1.5 inches of rainfall over the next 3 days. Emporia, 1.5 to 2 inches. Eureka, Winfield, those areas of Kansas could see 2 to 3 inches. If you're further into The central, like south of Topeka area, 4 to 6 inches of rain over the next 3 days. It is pretty significant, folks. You live in Salina. Ugh. Chris Lessig, little man, is 8. He has autism. He went to inpatient therapy yesterday for 30 days to help him pray. Oh, goodness. Rush Springs. Rush Springs, Oklahoma. I apologize. Chunky Walla Monster, Fort Sill. I need to get Fort Sill first. I missed that. Hopefully you're still here. Fort Sill, Oklahoma. This is for today. Now I gotta refresh my app because I got so many different areas. So, see, Kansas storm chasing. This ain't perfect, but it's the best that I could do. Nothing in life is perfect, folks. All right, Fort Sill, and then I got to get to Rush Springs. I will definitely get to that. Okay, so Fort Sill, you're in that marginal risk area for today. Let me go back to resolution reflective. See, this is why I really am getting frustrated with Radar Omega. It does not seem to want to update. Oh, goodness. That would explain it. It's what happens when you got a little bit of ADHD going on and having a hard time getting things moving along. You forget where you had the map at. So many different options available. There we go. So, areas of Fort Sill, Oklahoma, I believe I have you covered in here somewhere. It looks like Fort Sill, Oklahoma, the timing on that, the storms, again, it's in marginal risk. And it's going to be super late, sometime after 11 p.m. time frame by the time things get going. There are some risks there for hail and some wind, so just be mindful of that. All right, now Rush Springs. Let's go ahead and see if I can find a major city. Rush Springs, you're in that marginal risk. You're somewhere near Lawton, so let's see here. All right, there we go. So Rush Springs, you would be, again, late night storms are possible. You're in that marginal risk. Stay weather aware. That's all I can tell you here at this point. Carl, thanks so much. Chunky Wally Monster, you're welcome. Thanks for the follow as well. Carl, these are going to be storms for tonight. Grady County. Yep, that's Grady County, Chickasaw area there. Oh, thanks so much, Carl. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm a perfectionist, so I appreciate the respect all of you guys give me and patience. I'm a perfectionist, so when stuff doesn't go as smooth as I want, it really is frustrating because I want nothing but the best broadcast for you guys and all of the greatest information that you guys can come to rely on. Right. Yeah, I did see Rush Springs is where it is. It's a little easier to see. So it's like, yeah, just south of Neneka. I probably mispronounced that. Yesterday on my live, somebody was telling me that's not how one city was pronounced. I think it was I said Winewood, and he or she corrected me. It says Wynnewood, Oklahoma. What do the different colors indicate? So the yellow is the slight risk. The darker shade of green is the marginal risk for severe weather, and the lighter shade of green is just general thunderstorms. Great question. Yes, Memphis is okay. Memphis is okay for today. Tomorrow, you have that marginal risk for severe weather. Tiger King is from, I haven't heard about Tiger King in, gal, I don't know how long. It's been a long, long time. You just woke up, dude. Guess that's what happens. You're East Coast, right? You just woke up and you're East Coast. That means it's almost 10 o'clock. Half the day is gone. No, I'm just kidding. Just got to give you a hard time. But I'm probably going to bug out here very, very shortly because I do need to get things prepared for this weekend getaway. I'm going to Little Sioux, Iowa. Going to be camping with family. Um, Going to be an interesting camping because I'm expecting a whole lot of rain over the next 3 days. Not nearly as significant as Kansas area, parts of Kansas. Let me kind of show you those risks real quick for some of you that have just joined. I mean, the amount of rain you guys are going to have today in Joplin, Bartsville, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, while the risk isn't as significant for severe weather, and when I say severe weather, I mean like tornadoes and hail and that type of thing, it's pretty significant for the rainfall. Some of these storms are going to carry a lot of moisture. So marginal, at least 5%, and then a 15% risk for the hydrological outlook. A look at live radar here shows we don't really have a whole lot going on, but look at all that moisture. We got the dew points up in the mid 50s already, and it's definitely going to continue. All right, Carl, thanks so much. Good day to you as well. All right, y'all have a great day. I do need to let you guys go. Again, the biggest concern that I have for today would be the flooding risk, and that is in areas of Kansas. That's what we're looking at right now. This is areas of Kansas, lots of flooding. Let's do one last thing, and I'll give you the precip on this map if it's going to work. Let me get total precip. All right, so this is between 8 a.m. today and 7 a.m. on the 25th. Okay, so we're just going to analyze this a little bit further. Look at that. 3, 4 inches, 5 inches. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I'll tell you, with this amount of rainfall, and you guys obviously in Missouri have already had a ton of rain in the last week with storms. This is not a good thing. So now the threat isn't the severe thunderstorms like tornadoes and hail and all that. It's the flooding. That's a lot of rain, folks. We are expecting some storms for the Joplin area, but right now I'm looking at that rain risk. Not today for tornado activity for Joplin. Tomorrow there is that 2% risk as of right now, but that could change. Jamie Yvonne. So there's a double threat, for tomorrow. There's there's the tornado risk, the hail risk, but overall the big time risk for areas of southwestern part of Missouri and central Missouri, and even parts of just that whole quad right here. Lots of rain. All right, Jamie, thank you very much for joining. Webb City, Missouri, and then I'm going to go. Okay, that's the last one, folks. All right, Webb City, Missouri. Yeah, you guys are around that Joplin, Missouri area, so let me get the timing figured out for your storms for that. Boom. Hang on one second here. All right, we're going to go back here a little bit. We're looking right now at 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Gets much worse tomorrow morning after 5 o'clock in the morning. That's when all that torrential rain comes through and the storms, hail, wind threat, and again, possibility of isolated tornadoes as well. By the time you get done with the 24th around noon, those are moved out of the Joplin area. But there comes more on the 25th and the overnight hours, and more of that risk continues. Yeah, I don't want Joplin to get any significant weather either. I don't want anybody really. I mean, I'm a storm chaser as well as weather enthusiast, and you would think that would be opposite, but I don't, you know, my big thing is if there's going to be storms, I'd like it to be in the middle of nowhere. But unfortunately, that's not the way Mother Nature's got it all planned out. So I'm going to let you guys go. This is an overall look at timing here. This is a scan between 8 a.m. today estimates all the way through the 25th at 7 a.m. Okay? So that's kind of what we're seeing is possible there. I am thinking about getting a 24-hour 24/7 channel that's going to be nothing but live radar information throughout the day, but I'm it's going to take some time to get some programming going. Southwest Iowa look like at 9 a.m. Monday. I said that was the last one, didn't I? But I gotta. All right, Southwest Iowa, 9 a.m. Monday. Let's take a look here. Monday the 26th. I'll have to switch over to a different model, so it's going to be a little tough because these models are just going through an update. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to switch to a 2 a.m. update. So this is already outdated information, but this is the best I could do with your question. I can't go out that far. So I only have one weather model available. I shouldn't say we, meaning everybody's got access to the GFS. And that's the only one that's available at this point in time. Not expecting anything significant in any portions of Iowa. General thunderstorms at best for today. Again, possibility of general thunderstorms in tomorrow. And then as of right now, general thunderstorms for day 3, which would be your Sunday. No problem, Clayton. No problem. Oh, don't be sorry. I know I sometimes come across as I get irritated. Um, but much love and respect to all of y'all. I just got a lot coming up, so a much needed break. Some of you may not think I need a break, but I definitely need a break sometimes. All right, so northern Colorado, you guys have a risk for tornado activity here today. Um, and the timing on that, now this is, mind you, covering areas like Sterling, Colorado. So I'm not sure, just northeast of Fort Morgan. Not sure what area you're in, but Moonbeam. Take a look at the composite reflective timing here. Weld. Okay. Weld. Let me see which. Oh, Weld County. That'd be over by the kind of the Greeley area, I believe. So you're in general thunderstorms. We're not expecting anything huge there. Your risk for tornadoes in that area less than 2%. So you should be okay. Main area would be Sterling, Sterling, Colorado, Sydney, Nebraska. All right, that is all I've got. Thanks so much for joining, everybody. I appreciate you. You guys have a great rest of your day. I want to remind folks that are on here that I need all of my followers and those that are not following yet, please be sure to follow. Um, I have got a big battle with another live creator coming up on Saturday. So stay tuned for that Saturday, this Saturday, so tomorrow, a big live TikTok battle. Um, I'm hoping that my followers can do me a solid and come join and make sure that I win the battle. So appreciate that very much. I'm going to let you guys go. My daily lives I do at 8 o'clock in the morning. I will try my best tomorrow morning to do an 8 a.m. live update. I am bringing my laptop and stuff, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to because the coverage for where I'm going is kind of remote. So it's going to be a little bit tough. So Darks, thanks so much for the live share. You guys have a great rest of your day and God bless. Stay safe and please, Kansas area, anybody in Kansas, stay weather aware with all the flooding that is expected. You do have some severe weather that's expected in western portion of Kansas, but for today, More of the risk, in my opinion, is going to be the flash flooding that is expected over the whole weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Tennessee, Memphis area is going to have marginal risk for tomorrow, but today you guys are okay.